Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some PvP with the PSY Free Spirit new and improved team that includes Gear 5 Luffy and Momonosuke, the two new Free Spirit PSY characters that have come for the Gear 5 celebration. And in today's video, we're basically just going to be taking on some random teams. I have 3 fights for you in today's video. I might do some more stuff later down the line. Trying out some other Free Spirit characters and doing some other stuff there. But for the meantime, we are utilizing a 6-man team with Law in the front, Yamato, Momo, Odin, and Gear 5. The way that Momo works is you do need a Odin or one of the scabbards, I believe. I think Yamato might work as well to actually get his shield buff, which is a very interesting and new mechanic that came alongside Momonosuke. As well as the defensive prowess that he provides. And then with Gear 5 can actually be your damage dealer for the team, as well as having a revive mechanic. Works exceptionally well, works really, really nicely for the team, and is going to be a prowess of a team when it comes to Grand Party. I will definitely try this team in Grand Party. I'm not sure how I'll make it look in terms of Odin or Roger. Kuzan's an option, Enel's an option, using Rebecca Toy Soldier in the front is an option, but in today's video, I really wanted to focus on Law and a 6-man team or a 5-man front line with Sugos, and then utilizing Rebecca Toy Soldier on the bench. Now, Rebecca Toy Soldier are obviously very, very good. They can definitely be used in the front, but with Driven Powerhouse and like Int running around, Dex running around just in regular PvP, utilizing Law works exceptionally well because Law can be a level 6 CT buff for yourself as well as a level 6 CT buff or debuff for the enemy. And in today's video, we are taking on the Apu fight as well. And we are taking on some Dex Powerhouse sort of centric teams. And it all works out pretty nicely. There's a bunch of different variations running around for this particular team now as well. I have seen some stuff, like I said, with Roger instead of Law. Utilizing stuff like an 8-man team. Bringing Rebecca Toy Soldier into the front lines. And then running a 8-man team. Even leaving out stuff like Yamato. Which is kind of wild to think about because half stats is such a broken mechanic, but there's just so many units now that can just get around it that you can actually replace Yamato on this team. It's just kind of wild to think about. The PSY Free Spirit team works against a variety of different teams. This one in particular, like I said, works against a lot of powerhouse and driven units. If you see stuff like Dex, if you see stuff like fighters that have a lot of powerhouse units like Who's Who, Marco, Donjin, Jiao, Katakuri, those types of characters. Or if you see stuff like Int and you want to be brave enough to take it on if there's not stuff like Apu or your Rogue, then you really want to be bringing Wano Law. But you do have some defensive power with Momo now. Momo has an ability where when he uses his special, he gives level 5 guard and defense. But he also does a shield for 30 seconds to himself and 2 other units, I believe. Or it's like 3 allies, as long as you have an Odin or a... I want to say Yamato, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's an Odin or the Scabbards. So I believe that's the combination of units. I might be incorrect there, but it's definitely an Odin. And then Luffy has an ability where he does so much goddamn damage. However, I have found with Luffy, he just sort of misses the mark a little bit. He does 4,500 fixed damage in a large radial range, which is really, really good because you can hit a lot of units there. And 4,500 fixed damage... kind of nuts. On top of that, he then picks out one unit and does 1 point something times his attack that goes through defensive effects, which is incredibly strong. The downside I did find to Luffy is that this shot isn't like a one-hit KO. It's not like Whitebeard Roger where they just absolutely destroy a unit. It's not like Luffy Yamato in the last 50 seconds where they destroy a unit. And Luffy can kind of miss the mark in that regard. However, he has a revive mechanic, which makes him incredibly valuable when you are taking on other one-hit KOs like Whitebeard Roger, like characters like King, all of those characters that can just go through defense and absolutely destroy your front lines, or characters that will single out one unit and ignore the defense. I'm talking Ashura Zoro, again, Whitebeard and Roger, the Driven Dofi, I believe, does the same thing. The characters like that works exceptionally well. This team now has a counter with Momo as well. Momo can actually apply a counter mechanic to himself. And the counter mechanic is actually very powerful now. We've seen with Zoro how amazing it is. But the downside to Momo is that he actually won't provide a provoke where Zoro actually provoke enemies to attack him. Momo just sort of puts it up on himself, and then you just have to get some luck with actual enemies actually targeting him. And that's the reason why I actually have him in the middle for this particular setup, because you want characters to be hitting Momo, so that way you get the counter mechanic. Alright, so we're going to do a bit of a risky one. We're going to take on the Apu fights with a mono-Psy team. Ideally, you probably don't want to be taking on Apu with Psy. Your Rogue, Apu, those types of units are very, very good at nerfing Psy. They do a lot of damage to Psy. However, a lot of those units are actually driven or powerhouse. Apu being driven, your Rogue being powerhouse, which means if you bring Wano Law, you can increase your speed so drastically to outpace the opposition and actually take them out with some luck of Yamato, with some luck of Odin to actually tear through their defensive. Now, unfortunately, the rule still stands with Psy that Psy is still running off some RNG off Yamato and Odin. That's what I found anyway when we are running stuff like Momo, because you need Odin to be on the squad. Now, Odin's fantastic, but if Yamato whiffs or doesn't really half stat the units that Odin wants to hit, you are going to be in for a rough time. So utilizing stuff like Kuzan, utilizing stuff like Roger, definitely could see some play, and actually do a lot of very, very good work with their HP, so their fixed damage, on top of Luffy's fixed damage as well. And you could treat this team a bit like a fixed damage dealing team. Law also does fixed damage. However, when we are talking versus Int, that is going to be reduced because of their limit break ability, or their ability to just reduce damage from Psy. Even though it does say fixed damage, you are going to get that reduced depending on the margin of what their reduction is. Now, as you can see, the damage that we're doing is all being reduced. You can see that little yellow shield popping up like crazy. Getting some good luck with some action binding here. We did manage to take out a Poo, which was great. And now we can actually get our specials back around. With Psy, they do struggle a lot in regards to, once they pop their specials off, if they don't kill enough units, or they don't take out a bunch of damage dealers, or if, like, Yamato halves stats one unit in the front that hits 2 units in the back, you can be in for a bit of a rough go. And it's very rare that you'll see those specials come back. However, with the addition of the new Momonosuke and his shield mechanic, you can actually survive a lot of shots. The shield is only around for 30 seconds, and it's not a huge shield, but it just helps your survivability. And with Luffy and his revive, it just means that if you are using Luffy in the middle or around that middle area, you can just let him take shot after shot after shot, come back, and then put in some work with his fixed damage and his big damage dealing shot as well. So we managed to actually get this done. Let me know what side teams you guys are running with the new Gear 5 and the new Momonosuke, if you guys are utilizing them. Let me know in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to bell the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.